The Digital Photography Cafe show is brought to you by Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool for your camera.
Welcome to the Digital Photography Cafe show. Join hosts Trevor Current and Joseph Cristina as they serve up the hottest photography news and commentary.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 239. I'm Joseph Cristina here with my co-host Trevor Current.
Hey, how is it going?
I'm doing well. How are you doing? Lots of work, right?
Yeah, man, it's been a crazy week this week. We've got a lot going on that we'll get into a little bit later, but keeping busy.
Yep. Yes, absolutely. I tell you what, this week we're going to be, I guess, telling you guys about something really interesting, but we'll get into that towards the end of the show, so kind of stay tuned. But to start out with, down the wire a couple of days ago, we heard about this Adobe story, right? And how they're moving into let's call it a lease-only type of system, and the option to buy their software, let's say 95% of the software, is history.
Yep.
They are no longer selling software, right?
Yeah. I mean, there were ways up until recently that you were still able to purchase CS6. Right. And you didn't have to go to Creative Cloud. And now that is no longer available. You can no longer purchase CS6. And they say that they're still supporting CS6. But if you were to call into the support line, you'll find it very difficult to get support for CS6. Everything is Creative Cloud related.
Yes. I actually did call that line myself for an issue, and I'll get into that in a different video. But I called in for the Creative Suite that we own many of, and basically it gives you like this round robin thing, and you literally will get nowhere. There's no one to speak to anymore. So, but yeah, I'll get into that a little bit more on a later date. But it's amazing. I mean, Adobe is it's a cash cow. This CC that they came up with a few years back. I mean, they were originally making, I think 2015 about just over, let's say, $4.8 billion. Yep. As of 2016, they're up to almost $6 billion. It's really amazing on how much money they're making on this subscription. In light of that, they're not coming back.
They're not going back.
Subscription only. Either you like it or you don't. And I tell you what, a lot of people are not liking it because, like you or like I just can't stand leasing cars. I just want to buy something, know that I own it. I'm not into, it's the difference between using a credit card or a debit card.
Right.
Are you a credit person or are you a debit person? I'm personally a debit person. If I don't have the money, I don't buy crap.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Yep.
Same thing with the car. I'll save up and I'll get the car that I want, and I'll actually purchase the car. Maybe not outright, but I'll put a lot down, and I'll own the car at the end of it. I won't lease it and then have to give it back. And that's basically what we're doing with this software. God forbid, bro, you're working on one of your Illustrator files for a client that you're doing some illustration for, and now it's, let's say, a national holiday, and you don't have the funds in that credit card that's a debit card that they use to pay your monthly subscription for, or maybe your date, your expiration date changed and you didn't change it on your Adobe card. Now guess what happens? You no longer have access to your file. Now how do you work on your client's stuff? You don't. You cannot work on it, period. It's all done until, your national holiday is over. You can get in there and put the money where it needs to be, or you have to contact them.
Yeah.
So it's it goes back to the idea of, once again, owning it, putting it on your system, and using it when you want to, when you need to, especially in a production atmosphere. How about your internet goes down and now Adobe's software can't call home anymore? Ping pong. I'm authorized, I'm not authorized. I'm authorized, I'm not authorized. It's like, it's definitely an issue. But I see I see some people people, like it also because they stay current, always the latest and greatest. And, people that work B2B, business to business might need that. So there's a compliance there. There's a compatibility between offices. And I see that. But for 95% of the photographers out there, I'm telling you, we can literally use Photoshop, CS2 or CS3 and be, okay with it, I think.
Yeah, well, that really is the problem. I mean, Adobe, I think, is taking a similar mindset to Apple. I mean, we talked about on last week's show about Apple and their practices now with their products and their lack of real innovation and updates to the Pro line of computers, that it's kind of more of the same and very expensive stuff. I think they're willing to let a certain subset of their market go.
Exactly.
And I think Adobe is willing to do the same thing because they know the people who are riding old software, CS3, CS5, for years and years and years and years, and they're using it for what they need, and that's good enough. They don't need anything more. Adobe has already lost them as a client, as a customer. They don't, at this point, they're not making any money off them because they'll probably never update until they're forced to, until they're put in a position where they have to update. And this is, I think, their mindset, and they're willing to let those people go and no longer support that old software and let them basically fend for themselves in hopes that they will convert to CC. And if they don't, they don't. I mean, they made $5.85 billion last year in sales.
We were reading in an article, and rightfully so, someone brought up the point, and, we've brought this up in the past. Well, why in the hell, if you made almost $6 billion, on your software, you can't get some engineers in there to work on Lightroom so it doesn't, run like crap?
Yep.
Why can't you make it run faster? Why can't you completely give it an overhaul and actually get it to run right? I mean, I understand that, Adobe is doing it. And what they do is they say, "Oh, it's not really professional software. It's more of
that is correct.
It's our consumer line software."
That's right.
Well, that is nonsense. That is nonsense. They know that I would say 95% of the professionals out there are using Lightroom, right? Maybe 90% are using Lightroom. So you know what? It is professional software because that's who you're servicing.
Because the professionals are using it.
And if you're servicing professionals, treat it as a professional package and not as a consumer package, right? You don't have a professional package. You don't have a Lightroom Pro that you actually created from the ground up and made it actually function really well. So, in light of that, a lot of people are looking at AfterShot Pro. They're looking at DxO Optics Pro. They're looking at Capture One. They're looking at Darktable, which is a free app. They're looking at other alternatives to Lightroom. On the Photoshop side, they're looking at GIMP. That's free. Or Pixelmator or Affinity Photo or something like that. They're looking into alternatives that they can either have for free, or they can buy and they can spend their 20, 30, 40, even $100 on it, but they own it indefinitely. A perfect example is with our friends over there at Corel. They've told us and they've made the statement publicly that they are going to make sure that profiles from new cameras are added into their software. So what does that mean, guys? That means when a new camera comes out, you buy it, and now with your Lightroom that you're using, let's say LR5, let's say, or 5.5, you can no longer put in the raw conversion built into the software. You can't get that update. So now your new camera, guess what? You have to convert all those images to DNGs just to edit them. That is ridiculous on its face. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So, like I said, our friends are doing it over at AfterShot, and I'm sure a lot of the other folks are doing the same thing. They're seeing this opportunity to at least be able to give people what they want, be able to edit their photos, for the love of God. They don't have to shoot JPEG. They can actually shoot RAW and be able to do it and not have a subscription to do so. It's almost like holding the photographers hostage,
Right. Well, that's it. I mean, we really are put in a position now. Let's say, for example, I know with me, all right, with my computers here in the office, I am running an older operating system. on, newer equipment, because that's what I need to run, because I'm using an older version of CS, and I am afraid that if I start updating the OS and I have to, install patches and stuff for the older versions of CS just to get it to run, eventually it's going to break.
Yeah, it's going to break and you'll have no one to call.
Right. But now the problem I'm running into is I'm falling farther behind on this one machine that I'm using in the OS department because of this lack of ability to be able to upgrade. And if I don't upgrade this OS soon, it's no longer going to be supported, and I'm not going to get my security patches and things like that.
Yeah, so you're actually, holding back on security patches and OS, your operating system, based on Adobe.
Based on Adobe. And I know that I'm not the only one out there like this. Now, yeah, sure. I mean, I could go and update to the latest OS, and I could go purchase a Creative Suite, a Creative Cloud monthly subscription.
And for you, since you need Illustrator, that means that you have to pay $50 a month.
That's right.
So now all of a sudden, that becomes $600 a year. In the course of 5 years, you're talking about $3,000 that you have to pay to use Illustrator. And people don't look at it that way. They're like, wow. So after 10 years, now you're spending, $6,000 for this one piece of software. Kudos to Adobe for, being able to do this. I think it's just
fantastic
amazing.
Business model.
And
that just, you and I are definitely in the wrong business.
No, yeah,
we need to make
we're just
software.
Stupid. We're just completely stupid.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? This is a real problem. This has turned into a real discussion for a couple years now, and as of late, even bigger discussion. Yeah. And I think Adobe hears it all, but I really don't think
it falls on deaf ears. They don't care. When you have $6 billion is what you're making, close to $6 billion in the bank every year. Because of these subscriptions. You're doing nothing. You're sitting on your laurels. You're not updating your software because you don't need to. You're throwing that car on or that plane on autopilot, and you're just floating it in. They just don't care. The innovation has stopped. You don't need to now try to convince anyone, any of the photographers or any of the creatives in the community. You're not having to convince them anymore why they have to go from CS3 to CS4, from CS4 to CS5, and so on and so on and so on. Yep. You just don't have to do it anymore. No. So I definitely think, in light of where things are sitting right now, where they have completely shut down that whole entire side of it, where it's basically lease to, and it's not even lease to own. It's just lease, period. It's rent the software perpetually, indefinitely, ad nauseum. Keep paying us. If you don't pay us for X number of days or whatever it is that you're late, your software will no longer function. End of story, period. Yep. So that's right. It's kind of is what it is. So, but anyways, I had to leave it on a bad note. But I would, I have to say though, is there is a lot of smart cookies out there. You have On1 software. You have, like I said, you got the people. You got Capture One. You got DxO. You have Corel over with AfterShot, Affinity. You have a lot of smart people out there that see this as not a detriment, but as an opportunity. How can we get some of the people that are frustrated, that don't want to pay a monthly subscription? How do we bring them to us? And I can see that as being the only kind of saving grace with this whole thing that's going on with Adobe, in my personal opinion. So well, out of this multi-billion-dollar a year business, there's lots of room for other players, and even if they get a small cut of those billions, they're doing really well. And I guarantee you that some of these smaller guys will be proactive in building and maintaining excellent software. Yeah, absolutely. Because they now have that vested interest. Yeah. So anyways, guys, we're going to get to a break, but when we get back, we have something really special for you guys. Hang in there. It's no secret, there's never enough time, especially when it comes to editing our photos. Whether you're a pro and time is money, or have just fallen in love with photography, imagine how much better it would be if your edits were done sooner
so you can get back where you belong, behind your camera.
Make that dream a reality with AfterShot Pro 3 from Corel, the world's fastest way to sort, select, and perfect your photos. How fast? Try up to 4 times faster than Lightroom.
AfterShot works to fit your workflow by adding new cameras over the web, so you only get what you need. No bloat from unneeded profiles. Create your own plugins, add custom lens corrections, plus find all kinds of presets right in-app.
For just $79 with no subscription, you can't go wrong. Don't sit on the fence. Try it out. Visit aftershotpro.com/DPC to get your free 30-day trial for Windows, Mac, or Linux, and try before you buy.
All right, we are back from our break and from our Adobe rant, and we want to get into something really exciting, an announcement that I think you guys will all really appreciate. So as many of you know, the big wedding and portrait trade show and expo and conference and all this great stuff is happening in Las Vegas basically right now at the time that this show is going live. It's WPPI 2017, and this is always a great show. Joe and I have been there several times.
Oh, yeah.
And now we're running another giveaway in celebration of this event, very similar to what we did for Photo Plus Expo this past October. And one grand prize winner is going to get over $3,500 worth of photo and tech gear.
Yes, that's perfect, guys. That means one person, everything, gets it all, just like when we did the PPE thing. So that always works out really great. People really like that. They enter the win, and that they know once they do win, all of a sudden you have FedEx, you have UPS, you have you have USPS, you have everyone at your doorstep bringing you all kinds of cool photo stuff. So
that's right.
Yeah, that's really exciting. As always, this is going to be a bigger giveaway than ever.
Yeah. So we want to thank our generous contributors who are donating all these fantastic prizes. We have 17 hats. They're giving us a 1-year subscription to their unlimited plan. Alien Skin is giving Exposure X2. Bay Photo is giving their Exposure Expo Display Kit. Corel is giving AfterShot Pro 3, Pinnacle Studio 20 Ultimate, Paint Shop Pro X9 Ultimate, and Particle Shop. So that's a whole bunch of software you're getting.
Yeah, that's a bunch. Yeah, that's a lot.
Data Color is given the Spider 5 Elite color calibration system. Drobo is giving their Drobo 5C, their storage array. Cristina Photography Tools, I think we know who they are.
Yes.
They're given a Focus Pyramid, a PRT, and a PRT Mini. Low Pro is giving their PhotoStream RL150 roller bag. This is a really nice bag. You take on the plane with you. On One Photo Raw, their new software that just came out. Tamron is joining us this time around, and they're giving away their SP 45mm f1.8 DIVC USD lens.
That is prime glass.
Yes, and that's a mouthful. That's a really nice lens for sure.
Right.
And our buddies over at Tether Tools, they're giving their rapid mount lights and action kit. It's a mounting system for putting your flashes and accessories all over the place.
Yes. So this is going to be going on starting, the 6th through the 13th.
That's right.
And then on the 14th is when we're going to be drawing that grand prize winner. So there's going to be a lot of different ways where you guys could register multiple times, enter to win multiple times. Yep. So definitely want to do that. So it's really exciting. These giveaways usually just turn out so awesome. It's so cool to be able to give stuff away. And this time, just like last, we're going to be giving every single person that enters something free also, right?
Yeah, everyone who enters will be able to get a copy of AfterShot 3 from Corel. Corel has been generous enough to basically donate all of the software again. Guys, based on what we did in the past for Photo Plus, we're probably looking at $40,000 worth of software.
Yeah.
That we'll be giving away.
It's over $40,000, yeah.
For sure. And of course, Joe's giving away his Lightroom presets. So after we just got done kvetching about Adobe, but hey, get some presets for Lightroom.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is really exciting, guys. So you can head over to contest.digitalphotographycafe.com. The instructions will be right there. You'll see how you can enter. There's lots of ways to earn additional chances to win, so you certainly want to take advantage of those. It's all about percentages. The more you enter, the greater the chance you can win.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as usual, open to legal U.S. residents who are 18 years of age or older by February 7th, 2017. Sorry, guys. We know this is frustrating to all of those located out of the U.S. Unfortunately, it's just the way we have to do it because of international games of chance.
Law and everything. But you know what, guys? You know what? If you are somewhere international, anywhere on the globe, you can still register to win. You'll still get the free stuff, right?
That's right.
If you are the grand prize winner, you will not win that grand prize, but you'll get all the free stuff anyway. So a little tip trick. Go register anyways.
Something.
Everyone will get, probably like $100 worth of stuff for free. So just go and register.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it's contest.digitalphotographycafe.com. Head over there as of February 6th and enter to win.
That's it. So, all right, Trev, we need to get out of here.
Yes, we do. So if our listeners and viewers want to connect with you outside of the show, what is the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, go ahead and find me over on Twitter, and that's at Joseph Cristina. And as I always say, Cristina with no H. And don't forget to check out my vlog over on YouTube. That's youtube.com/JCristinaPhoto.
Excellent. And you can connect with me on Twitter. It's at Trevor Current, or head over to our website at currentphotographer.com.
So, all right, guys, we're out of here for yet another week. You can get all the show notes from this episode by visiting digitalphotographycafe.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/DPhotoCafe. That's it, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.
You've been watching the Digital Photography Cafe show with Trevor Current and Joseph Cristina. Subscribe to our YouTube channel with any compatible device by visiting youtube.com/DPhotoCafe. Be sure to subscribe to our audio feed through iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Xbox Music apps, or through RSS. Visit digitalphotographycafe.com for show notes and to connect with your hosts.